I don't think I like Mario Kart.
Alright, let me rephrase that, because don't get me wrong, I don't hate these games. I played them all the time when I was a kid. The battle mode in Mario Kart 64 was something me and my brother constantly had a blast with. However, when it came to racing games, I would always go back to and want to play more of. I always gravitated towards F-Zero X and Diddy Kong Racing, but never really Mario Kart. I really only ever played it when a friend said, "Hey, wanna play Mario Kart?" And I respond with, "I guess." And I always feel like a fake gamer. I mean, I love all of Mario's other ventures like golf, tennis, and parties, but never really Mario Kart. Was I doing something wrong? Was I just bad at the games? Probably. So today I decided to see if I'm just a big ol' smelly jerk who doesn't get it, and play every mainline Mario Kart game, especially with a new Mario Kart game that's $80,000. I feel like now's a good time to figure this Mario Kart thing out. So, I hope you can enjoy my little journey and quest to find love with Mario Kart. But first, shout out to today's sponsor, Raycon.
Father's Day is just around the corner, and if there's two things that all dads love, it's grilling and listening to Creed.
So this Father's Day, treat dad to a pair of everyday earbuds by Raycon. The best earbuds for whatever the day brings. Going to the gym, mowing the lawn, and everything in between. Raycon's latest model is better than ever, with a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair two devices at once, meaning you'll almost never be without your music, needing only 10 minutes to fully recharge when totally drained. My personal favorite feature with these headphones, though, is the active noise canceling. Whenever I'm on a plane, I turn it on and I genuinely can't hear the engine in any way, let alone any people, engulfing me in nothing but the music and making naps that much more great. Plus, they're super comfy and rest in my ears perfectly, never falling out. And there's plenty of cool colors and case designs you can choose from. I personally love the black headphones with the concrete case. So click that link down below or go to buyraycon.com/thewaffle to get 15% off site-wide. Your dad is about to experience Creed in a whole new way. That link again is buyraycon.com/thewaffle for 15% off site-wide. And thanks Raycon for sponsoring this video. Kicking things off with a game that started it all, Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. Released in 1992, this game was a pretty big deal. All of Mario's friends putting aside their differences to go go-karting. And what a different time this was, eh? With the flesh-colored Koopa and Donkey Kong Jr. as opposed to the Rareware Donkey Kong. I played this game a lot when I was a kid, and I'll be honest, I don't like it. Even today, when trying to have a more open mind, I really just don't like this game at all. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room. In Super Mario Kart, you can do a little bunny hop, which I always thought was cute when I was a kid. Yeah, Mario's all about jumping, so now they can do it in the karts? That's hilarious. I didn't know you could drift in Mario Kart. But can you blame me? How was I supposed to know? I didn't read any manuals, and I was 5. I didn't know how to accelerate a car, let alone know what a drift was. It literally wasn't until Mario Kart 8 I was taught how to drift. So yeah, with all of that being said, I went back to these games for this video with that basic knowledge you probably knew before you could even walk. And as you could guess, my experience and opinions on these games drastically went up from my childhood. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Super Mario Kart is fine. It's technically a racing game. Drift around some corners, you get items like the shells that shoot at the racers in front of you, banana peels that you can lay on the road to trip up others, a lightning bolt that shrinks everyone, coins, a feather that lets you hop, very useful, and the invincibility star that gives you a temporary boost and makes you invincible. First off, I'm not a big fan of the Nintendo DS split. The top half of the screen is the actual gameplay, while the bottom half shows off the maps and other racers. I don't know anyone who ever really looks at this part of the screen. And it's a bad habit to teach kids, don't you think? To take your eyes off the road while driving? Because believe me, the race is going to require 110% of your attention. Because if you want first place, you'll need to play through each race flawlessly. Which leads to my next issue with the game, the rubber banding. If you don't know what that is, essentially the game will never allow you to be too far ahead of the CPUs. If you play perfectly and make a lot of progress, no matter how bad the CPUs may be driving, they'll always automatically be right on your tail. So sometimes I feel like I'll be smoking the competition and leaving them in the dust, but the second you make a tiny little oopsie, you immediately get passed by like 3 racers. So for me personally, I never really needed to lock into a race until the final lap, because no matter how well you do for the first 2 laps, you're not really rewarded for playing well by having an extra second to keep up your momentum. The game's also just kinda slow. I know Mario Kart favors more in the fun department with cute stages, fun set pieces, and the items, but it's still a racing game at its core, and the sluggish speeds don't really work in the game's favor. Plus, the amount of obstacles can be really frustrating. Like, I know I'm low-key bad at this game, but when you hit the Monty Moles, for example, and they bring you to an immediate stop while everyone just zooms on by you, and you gotta start your slow acceleration all over again to pick up speed, it's honestly a mood killer. Also, since I'm just complaining like a big baby, I really gave up on the game when I saw the amount of repeating stages. The Mushroom Cup starts you off on Mario Circuit, a nice and simple stage, lets the player get a grasp on the game's controls and physics. Nothing too crazy with some basic obstacles to dodge. Cool. Track 2 is Donut Plains, and it's okay. Structurally and artistically, it's kind of the same as the previous track. Lots of green. Track 3 is Ghost Valley, and I dig this one. In the previous stage, it had a bridge where you could fall in the water and get really screwed. So Ghost Valley ups that challenge by having almost half the stage have no barriers, meaning if you're careless with your turns, you'll fall into the abyss. Next track is Bowser's Castle, and I have no idea what happened with me. I couldn't drift to save my life. I was constantly falling into the lava and doing whatever this is. Naturally, I thought this was the final course because it's Bowser, but no. One more with Mario Circuit. And after all that hard work and mastering the controls, I got second place. But you know what? I'm proud of that second place. My entire childhood, I would always rank out by the second course. Chocolate Valley or whatever. I hate this level. There's too many turns and I hate the chocolate milk all over the floor. It's a bit of a big difficulty spike right off the bat. After that, it's another Ghost Valley and then another Donut Plains. I think I've kind of made my point with this game. It's not my favorite by any means, and if I were to rank it, I'd probably put it in D tier. Obviously, if you play with your friends, it's a different story, but as a whole, not my game.
Welcome to Mario Kart!
Moving on to the N64, we got Mario Kart 64. Now, I got a real soft spot for this game, be it the charming voices,
Let's go! Yahoo! Yahoo!
or just the general art design of the characters, capturing that late 90s realistic CGI that Mario was all about in the magazines and commercials. Right off the bat, the gameplay fixes almost every problem I had with the previous title. It feels faster, the stages are given more life and uniqueness, and the items have been upgraded to actually feel useful. In Super Mario Kart, I'll be honest, the items never really felt like an integral part of the game in my opinion. They were just kinda there. Every item returns, but now with some extras. For example, instead of just one turtle shell, you can get 3. And when you summon them, they hover around your character, and if another racer drives near you, they pop off and hit them. Kinda like a proximity mine, which is a really cool feature. The boost mushroom comes in packs of 3, and also includes a golden mushroom, where you can mash the item button and just spam the speed boosts. I'll be honest, it doesn't really feel like it does much to increase your speed, but man, it's satisfying seeing yourself go. The game actually feels like Nintendo put some of its secret sauce into it. The big draw for Mario 64 in my opinion easily has to be the stages, such a massive step up compared to the previous title. But it's still a bit of a mixed bag. Luigi's Raceway is the perfect opening stage. It's wide and open, meaning your drift doesn't need to be perfect or tight to get around. But if you can drift well, you'll be speeding through everyone, which makes the next stage, Moo Moo Meadows, feel even more special. Going from a racetrack to an open farm field is a great choice. There's fun little hills, twists, turns, and cows. It's crazy to think one of these humble cows will soon be competing in an open world Mario Kart. Koopa Troopa Beach. This level's kinda mid if I'm being honest. And it's not just because I did this. What am I actually doing here? Donkey Kong's Jungle Parkway is probably what comes to mind when I think of the ideal Mario Kart track. Instead of feeling like a racetrack, it feels more like you're actually exploring a world, driving through the jungles before crossing a rickety bridge and exploring a cave. And I still to this day love the big boost gap you gotta make across the river. This is what I consider to be the ideal Mario Kart stage, since the game's focus is on fun rather than racing. But when it comes to my personal favorites, Toad's Turnpike easily takes the cake. Speeding on a realistic highway, swerving in and out of traffic, listening to Mario music. This is like me in real life. No, I'm just kidding, don't do that. Plus the orange glow of the sunset just makes this such a vibe. I wish I could be here in real life. Wait a minute. Now, not all the stages are bangers, unfortunately. Calamari Desert is the first one to really buzz my mood. It's just a wide open desert with nothing. They throw in some street signs every now and then because I think they realized how barren this entire track is. The only thing that appears is a random train that's so big and obvious only a dumb idiot would drive into it. Wario Stadium is also the same, sadly. I really liked it as a kid, but coming back to it, I never fully realized just how massive this course is and how empty the entire race feels from beginning to end. Same with Choco Mountain. Literally, nothing's here. And don't get me started on Frappe Snowland. Literally everything on this stage wants you dead. And hey, are we gonna blame me for being bad at the game? Yeah, probably, that's fair. Overall, Mario Kart 64 is a huge step up from Super Mario Kart. The game's enjoyment definitely boils down to the track. I feel like some stages are really fun to play and are able to hide the game's flaws, while others just enhance them. On the empty stages, the game's slower speeds really shows itself and drags on, which isn't what you want from a racing game. Overall though, coming back to Mario Kart 64 actually gave me a new appreciation for it that I didn't have for most of my life. Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, Super Circuit, because it reminds me of the Super Nintendo game that I super don't like. Yeah, sure, while visually it's more advanced and the gameplay feels a bit more crisp, overall, the same problems still remain here. The tracks are boring, albeit very pretty to look at. The racing feels slow, like really slow, and I don't know, it's really just not my game. It is cool to have Mario Kart on the go, and for 2001 it is impressive to have on the handheld, but next. Here we go, baby. Mario Kart Double Dash. The main gimmick in this game is that you get to pick 2 racers per vehicle. Not only that, but you've got multiple vehicles to choose from to fit your playstyle. Some accelerate faster while having lower speeds. Depending on the characters you choose and their weight, that can affect the race a little bit. It's all really cool. Now, why are there 2 racers? Well, apart from it being fun, you know, the more the merrier, and getting to hold 2 items at a time now, every character has a special item that's unique to them. For example, Mario can shoot fireballs, Bowser has his giant shell that moves around the track, and Diddy Kong throws a big banana, just to name a few. Although the special items are pretty rare to come by, the 2-person kart thing is definitely more so just you getting to pick 2 of your favorite characters and racing with them together. Wow, 2 cakes! Honestly, the GameCube is my favorite era of gaming ever. Just the aesthetic and visuals really touch my heart in a way I can't explain. All the characters are shiny, which was the GameCube's way of showing off how realistic and advanced they look. It's also the first Mario Kart to have fully rendered 3D characters, since in Mario Kart 64 they were pre-rendered sprites. The speed of the vehicles also feels fast now. Since we're not really playing in traditional go-karts, the feel and even sound of the vehicles have changed. It's a small change, but a welcomed one. The drifting is the only thing I had to get used to, since in Double Dash they removed the little hop, in exchange for a more realistic drift experience. It took a while to get used to. I want my little hop! The tracks are once again fairly evenly hit or miss. Luigi Circuit is once again the perfect opening track. Lots of boosts, open spaces, and opportunity to hit others with items. Peach Beach has this thing that I still can't explain all these years later, as well as those annoying cataquacks that I swear to God if I hit one. Baby Park, to no one's surprise, was easily my favorite stage. It's a small, simple loop. You have to do 6 laps as opposed to 3 since it's so short. But the small size allows for so much more of a chaotic nature. Items go flying all over the track and you will get hit by many of them over and over again. The simplicity and unpredictability of this course really plays in Mario Kart's favor. You can go from first place to last in a matter of seconds, and honestly, it's not frustrating. It feels fun because with all the chaos going on, you couldn't play this track flawlessly even if you tried. Especially with friends, a lot of fights would break out due to a shell you threw 2 laps ago. Dry Desert, unfortunately, is another example of a stage that's too big and a little too empty. Sure, there's pokies and quicksands, but they're all just obstacles that bring you to a halt and slow you down. The challenge comes from avoiding them, but if you're successful in doing that, you're rewarded with just driving through another barren wasteland. Apart from Baby Park, Daisy Cruiser is probably the most fun stage from a creative standpoint. Again, checking all the boxes I'm looking for in a Mario Kart track. A big level that feels like you're exploring with branching paths and different set pieces. Be it the deck, foyer with haunted tables, it's all great. The last thing you ever want to think while playing Mario Kart is this level almost over yet? And I don't get that feeling with most of these stages. There's always the occasional rage-inducing stage. For me, it's always the ice stages I've noticed, and Sherbetland is no different. Be it the All in all, I'd say Double Dash is a great Mario Kart game. The gimmick of multiple characters and their special items is fun, swapping between the racers and sacrificing speed for a better item, while also choosing your kart is a fun big brain move. The tracks are pretty, the music is great, I'm a fan. Also, Double Dash is one of the few GameCube games to utilize the GameCube's LAN feature. Yeah, if you had enough friends, and GameCubes, and copies of the game, and adapters, you could have up to 16 players. And just imagining me and 15 other friends that I don't have racing around Baby Park, it could only end in violence. Now on to the Mario Kart game I often forget exists, Mario Kart DS. Once again, a Mario Kart game on the go, and it's definitely the best of the two so far. It's in that weird DS technology position, where it's graphically and control-wise better than Mario Kart 64, but less impressive than Double Dash. Despite the speed once again feeling pretty slow, it handles really well. Probably the best controlling Mario Kart game so far. The drifts are smooth, and I like the variety with the karts. Luigi driving in the Poltergust is literally the best thing ever. Honestly, all of the Luigi stuff is the best content in the game, with my favorite stage being Luigi's Mansion, driving through the forest, graveyards, and of course the interior of the mansion. Delfino Square is also a favorite, and no, it has nothing to do with my GameCube nostalgia. Alright, it might have a little something to do with my GameCube nostalgia. I love the idea of speeding through these Italian-looking alleyways like we're in the Fast and Furious movies. These poor Piantas are just trying to buy some fruit, and here we are just causing a scene. Stages are still evenly hit or miss for me. Along with the ice stages, I realize I tend to also hate the desert stages just as much. Probably because it's usually a mix of boring, barren wastelands that tend to resort to just throwing quicksand and enemies at you. The highlight for me though with this game is the mission mode. Yeah, just like in Smash Bros. And apparently in the new $80,000 Mario Kart, you're thrown into a track and given a mission to complete in a certain amount of time. Things like collecting a certain amount of coins, going through checkpoints in the correct order. A mission has you needing to collect a star and take out the Cheeps, something I really struggled with. Like, bro, can I please hit you? What am I doing? This is a level 1 challenge. I'm not gonna get any stars for this, am I? Nope. There's one where you need to drive out of Luigi's Mansion backwards. It's pretty much just playing with inverted controls, but you gotta do it fast to get 3 stars. The challenges are short and quick. However, you may notice that one tile is completely blocked out. You won't get it until you achieve 3 stars on all the challenges, meaning while short, you'll need to do them over and over again to master them perfectly, which I like. The racing itself is not very fast-paced, but needing to collect items or go through checkpoints in 8 seconds or less helps give back that fast-paced feeling. And what's your reward for completing all these challenges? A boss battle! Yeah, Mario Kart DS has boss battles. You're given an item and need to use your big brain to figure out how to use it to defeat them. It is pretty simple once you figure it out, but I can't remember how many times I've needed to fight a boss in a car. And honestly, I love it. It's so perfect. This is the kind of stuff we need in Mario Kart, and I really hope it's in the new one. Overall, Mario Kart DS is a really fun surprise. My initial thoughts on the game was that it was the most "here's a Mario Kart, I guess" entry in the series. And while I do still feel like that for the main Grand Prix mode, not having much to offer compared to the other games, the missions and boss battles are such a refreshing change of pace that I never even realized Mario Kart needed. I love the minimalist Wii. Seriously, why did they do this? The Wii really wanted to feel like a weird dystopian future. Anyway, Mario Kart Wii is Mario Kart on the Wii. This is the game I played the most of when I was in middle school, mainly because it was fun putting the remote into the wheel and really immersing yourself. I'm really driving through this mall and putting dozens of civilians in danger. Someone get me a beer! Man, just the look of this game reeks of the Wii, and I mean that in the most positive and loving way. If the GameCube's way of showing off its epic graphics was to make everything shiny, then the Wii's method was to add shadows and desaturate the colors a little bit. I love Denim's overalls, Mario. Even if you play without the Wiimote, the game still plays very well, naturally feeling better than the previous, as it should be. The hop drifting is back, the speed is nice, and I love the addition of extra vehicles, choosing between either karts or dirt bikes. And everyone I played with always chose the motorcycles. I guess it was just cool. Go-karts are for babies and motorcycles are for mature adults like us 14-year-olds at the time. This is also the first Mario Kart, in my opinion, to have more fun stages than mid ones. Because I even love the ice level here. DK Summit may actually be not only a great ice stage, but one of my favorites in the entire game. Heck, maybe in the entirety of Mario Kart. The entire course has you going down a snowboard, or skiing, or slalom track. So it's downhill, which makes you feel like you're going faster. There's half pipes you can ride up and pull off a McTwist or something. It's such a fun level that combines both speed and creativity to get ahead of everyone. Same principle goes with Wario's Gold Mine. The race takes place on a minecart track, making the entire race feel like you're on a roller coaster, complete with big drops and using boosts to fly upward. It's tons of fun. They even got ramps to pull off some "good God, what have I done?" And of course, what kind of human would I be to talk about Mario Kart Wii and not mention the glorious and beloved Coconut Mall? I mean, this has to be the best Mario Kart track ever. Ever, right? It does everything right. Exploring a big map, going from unique area to area. The stage itself is interactable. Like if you go up the down escalator, naturally it slows you down and you'll get past. There's shortcuts, and the theme song is what we in the business call perfection. I also got so used to how the dirt bikes control that when I got into a car, I was driving like absolute garbage. Now yeah, I know my regular driving is also garbage, but man, it really is like two completely different controls to get used to. The only negative I could say about the game is the items. They're so annoying in this game. Seriously, I swear, I would get hit with the lightning power-up like 3 times per race. There's just items flying all over the place, and they always manage to hit you. Also, look at how the very end of this race played out. I nearly blew a blood vessel with anger. Or how about the next one? Mario Kart Wii would go on to be the second best-selling game on the Nintendo Wii, with nearly 38 million copies being sold. And honestly, it's well deserved. I never played online because I was scared, and the few times I was able to connect with my 2008 dial-up internet, let's just say the results were less than ideal. All in all, fantastic Mario Kart, S tier, and if you disagree with me, shut up.
Mario Kart 7!
I love minimalist Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. Honestly, this is another game I just don't have much to say about. It was released 3 years after Wii on the 3DS. However, it doesn't feel as clean or polished as Wii. I don't know if that's a hot take, but it's just how I feel. The game to me feels like a more cleaned up Mario DS. But it's still tons of fun, don't get me wrong. The kart customization is a fun feature, picking the best body, wheels, and glider to fit your needs. The glider is a new feature. When you get launched off of a platform, you go flying through the air and the glider helps glide you. And if you know the levels really well, you can use it to your advantage to get ahead in the race. Alright, so check this out. I was in Cheep Lagoon. It's an underwater level, which is definitely a choice. I mean, to be honest, it's not that intrusive, but the game already feels kinda slow as is, so being thrown into the water doesn't help its pacing. Anyway, the track splits off, and if you take the path on the left, you hit a boost and it flies you over the water, as opposed to the route I took that leads you underwater. Okay, lap 2 comes around, and I decide to take that path. It's very narrow, and requires a delicate... Never mind, I hate Mario Kart again. All in all, it's a fun game, but to me, this is the most fine, here's a Mario Kart game in the franchise. Leading us to the final mainline game as of today, Mario Kart 8. This section's gonna be very, very short because it's a good game. Every complaint I've had with Mario Kart since the beginning is gone. Every compliment and positive aspect of the franchise that I've mentioned is here and improved upon. The racing feels fast, the stages are unique and creatively engaging, you got this little yay move when you're up in the air, and it feels weird to say, but it low-key did take 20 years for them to finally nail Mario Kart in a flawless way. I honestly have nothing bad to say about the game. I feel like this entire video was kinda leading up to this moment, talking about all the things that I liked and disliked throughout the history of Mario Kart, all coming together to create this game. I love it, it's great. I just don't have much else to add that hasn't been said by everyone else for years since this game's release, so I'll quit while I'm ahead. Naturally, Mario Kart's success would spin off tons of unofficial bootlegs and fan games. You know, like everyone's favorite game. Mario Kart. You can select between Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Toad. I have a feeling it's not really gonna matter. I see. What the hell is this? So I guess our friends in the Mushroom Kingdom have been transformed into cyborgs, turning their bodies into rockets where I think we're supposed to race. I don't really know. I'm just zooming around space, collecting coins and rockets. I hit the other characters and nothing. I fly around some more and lo and behold, nothing happens. So, am I really just gonna sit here and play this until something happens? Absolutely not. Alright, then there's the NES classic Super Mario Kart Rider. It's got all the classic characters on these human bodies. I'm not sure if that's less or more disgusting than the rocket bodies. So this game is just a ROM hack of Mach Rider on the NES. Nothing too weird about it, apart from Yoshi making me feel something. And to be fair, if Mario Kart was on the NES, this is probably what it would be like. A bootleg Mario Kart All-Stars collection. That's right, the best the Mario Kart series has ever had to offer in one bootlegged Brazilian game. Oh god. Out of my way! Oh yeah, this is it. This is the definitive Mario Kart edition right here. To be fair, it's not too bad, but if Nintendo were to release a Mario Kart All-Stars, I feel like this is about what we get. What is that? What is that? Is that Russian? I thought this was Brazilian. Why is it Russian text? Great. I did it. New record, huh? Like, it's not terrible, I guess, you know? For an actual bootlegged Mario Kart All-Stars, I mean, there's only 4 racers. Nope, stay back, no, stop, Luigi! I can't even fall off, there's no danger. No, you're not gonna get, no, oh, that's right. Get out of my face. And oh, of course, who could forget the iconic Faz Karts Racing? Yeah, this is a Five Nights at Freddy's Mario Kart clone. And it's kind of embarrassing that the roster of characters is actually more than what Mario Kart has had to offer up to this point. Apparently, this is an online-only game. So if you don't match with anyone, then you're just racing alone. So yeah, if you got some free time, my mom says that we can play tonight if it's okay with your mom. Add me, my name is Waffle. But you wanna know the worst part about this game? It's kinda good. No, it's really good. I'm playing with a keyboard and feel like I'm in full control. The turning is sharp, there's items and drifting, as well as drift boosts. I'm thoroughly impressed. I genuinely kinda want this game to blow up, so download Fast Karts. This isn't even sponsored by them. Anyway, before I get too off track, I just wanted to say I had a great time revisiting these games with a new perspective. So let's rank these games while we're here. Starting with number 8, the worst Mario Kart in my opinion is Super Mario Kart. Number 7 is Mario Kart Super Circuit. Number 6 goes to Mario Kart 7, number 5 is Mario Kart 64, number 4 is Mario Kart DS, number 3, Mario Kart 8, number 2, Mario Kart Double Dash, and number 1 is Mario Kart Wii. Where do these games rank for you? Let me know. I just wanted to say I had a great time revisiting these games with a new perspective. I had a great time, and maybe if we're lucky and I win the lottery I put my life savings into, I'll give Mario Kart World a try and maybe even make a video on it. Let me know what you think. And until then, Fast Karts. That's the takeaway, I think.